Go.
All right.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and call our meeting to order. First item up on our agenda is to approve our agenda. I do have one change. Mr. Ray would like for us, under financial report, under A, approve financial report for April, if we could change that to May, please. And other than that, I have no other additions or deletions. Does anybody else have any additions or deletions?
I do not.
All right, thank you, KK. Hearing none.
Nor do I.
Joey doesn't either. All right, so hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our agenda as amended. We have a motion, do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our consent agenda. I'll entertain a motion to approve our consent agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our financial report for the month of May with Mr. Ray.
Sure, everybody should have a hard copy of the financial report for May. Nothing too exciting to report. If you look at the second page, we have a budgeted surplus of $32,000. And just keep that number in mind when we do budget amendment number 8. That number will increase. And all the revenues are coming in as we anticipated. You'll notice the TISA funding.
Put your
The mon-
microphone to your, move your microphone, Scott, so they can hear you. There we go.
Feel like I should sing.
Please don't.
Okay. The TISA funding, the actual for the month of May is 0. We only get 10 months of funding, and May is just a silent month for funding. It doesn't mess with us because we've got pretty good cash flow. We're in good shape. Federal funds are as approved in E-Plan. We amend the budget in our financial statements as they get approved by the state. And the school nutrition program, we have a budgeted surplus of 0, but we probably will end the year about $50,000 to $70,000 surplus. I anticipate. My unknowns right now are what our ending inventory is, because I have to buy that food from Airmark. And then the summer feeding that's gone on at North, it's kind of an unknown. Once I book everything, I anticipate between 50 and 70 is what we get in surplus. We talked about cash flow. I don't have anything in writing about our cash position, so I'll give you these verbally. In our regions, which is our operating account, we're at $3.6 million in cash. And we have, in the local government investment pool, we have $1 million. We have $500,000 in CDs at 2 banks. We have the Knoxville Teacher Federal Credit Union debit card account in lieu of, or in addition to, kind of like a credit card of $44,000. That's $1.5 million. So 3.6, 1.5, and then we still have $2.5 million with the city. So we're doing pretty well with our cash position. As we get into larger capital projects, we will feel the effect of that, but we're in a good spot to be able to pay cash for our future needs. Again, non-reoccurring. It's stuff like we're doing now with the auditorium, roofs, those type of things. Any questions on the financial statements or our cash position?
I do not.
And I haven't booked the revenue interest. I'll just true everything up in June, as of June 30th. Book the revenue. I anticipate about $50,000 or $60,000 in interest income.
Oh, very good.
All right. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Ray regarding our May financial report?
No.
All right. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve our May financial report as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none. Kim, could we have a roll call vote, please?
KK Meredith.
Yes.
Lori Wilson.
Yes.
Tim Boppel.
Yes.
Merle Price.
Yes.
Joey Smith.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to budget amendment number 8.
Everybody should have in hard copy, budget amendment number 8, with the summary page on the top. Skip the summary page. Let's go to the actual budget amendment number 8. It starts off with recognizing our summer learning camp revenue. That revenue is in two parts. Part of it is actual state revenue. Part of it is, the state gets federal income as well, federal revenues. And then when they pass that through to us, it's kind of quasi-state revenue still. We don't get it because we applied to the federal government for it. And so we have to separate those two. That's the only reason why. And then there's an allotment they give us for transportation for summer camp. And this budget amendment comes before you, this is what, our third year with summer learning? So this time we always bring you this budget amendment to recognize what we need. All the revenue is going to be offset by expenditures on the next couple pages. Below the summer learning revenue is the just local and state revenue, just truing that stuff up to where I mean, it's May, so I have a pretty good idea where we're gonna land by June 30th. But I try to keep it as close to actual as possible. So we net increase in revenue of $287,000. The next page is a lot of increases of various amounts. All that is bringing some line items that might be $200 or $300 over budget, bringing that back within compliance, because we shouldn't be over budget in our actual expenditures. Towards the bottom of that page, you'll see 71-100-116 SL. SL stands for summer learning, and that's where we're budgeting the expenditures that we have all that revenue for. So in the end, we have a total increase of $505,000. Remember, almost 300 of that is summer learning camp. So the next page we get into is decreases in expenditures. And the column heading is decrease. And you'll see that various line items that we don't. Social Security is usually a common one that will decrease because I budget Social Security at 100% of the gross wages. But Social Security is calculated based on gross minus, like health insurance, vision, dental. You don't pay Social Security tax on that, so we don't have to pay the match either. So in the end, the largest reduction is in capital projects at the very end of $200,000. And that's because we didn't realize some of the things we wanted to do this year, it's getting deferred into next year. There were mainly the playground, some roofing, and some parking lot stuff is getting deferred into next year. So we have a total decrease in expenditures of $590,000. So the increase and decrease kind of offset. So we're increasing that fund balance by $372,000. When I went over the financial statements, I said that we have a $32,000 budgeted surplus, and then it'll turn into a little over $400,000 in budgeted surplus. I anticipate us ending the year between $500,000 and $700,000 in surplus for the year. So when it all gets drilled down at the end. These are conservative. I always estimate a little more in expense and a little less in revenue, and we're safe. School nutrition is the very last page. That just brings the budgeted revenue into where I kind of anticipate us falling by June 30th. Anytime there's an increase in budgeted revenue, that means we're serving more meals. Well, our contract with Airmark is based on how many meals we serve, so that expense has to go up as well. So I did that. The revenue and the expense offset, so no effect on fund balance there. And that's our budget amendment number 8. I know I went pretty quick, sorry, but any questions on it?
No.
Joey?
Questions?
All right. After hearing budget amendment number 8, I'll entertain a motion to approve budget amendment number 8 as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments for Mr. Ray? Hearing none. Kim, could we have a roll call vote, please?
KK Meredith.
Yes.
Lori Wilson.
Yes.
Tim Bobble.
Yes.
Merle Price. Joey Smith.
Yes.
Curtis Isbell.
Motion carries. Moving on to new business before the board. We have our yearly extension of financial obligations, which allows Kelly to continue on and pay the bills that we accumulate from our fiscal year last year and being able to pay those bills off in fiscal next year. And so that's just a routine maintenance issue. I'll entertain a motion to approve extension of financial obligations.
Motion to approve.
Motion made. Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to school board schedule. I don't think we have any surprises there.
Basically follows the same format that we've done in the past. Kim just looked at what we've done in past years and plugged it in.
All right. And I'll entertain a motion to approve school board schedule for the upcoming year.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our annual agenda.
So this is required by the TSBA. It just kind of outlines what we do throughout the course of the year. And so this is something that we do annually as well, and not a whole lot has changed other than I did move our annual board retreat until September. I believe it was in July, and since we have summer law, we moved that to September, but other than that, there's no other changes.
Okay. All right. Any further questions or comments regarding our 2024-25 annual agenda? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve as presented.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to approve the Anderson County Health Department dental program and the Lions Club for vision for our students. Yearly, I have to give my disclaimer that I work for the health department part-time, helping them out with the children. It is a great program. I do not get any increase in funding or reimbursements or anything, whether or not we do go into the schools or not. But it is a wonderful program to try and bring dentistry and healthcare and vision to the children that may not have access to those needs. I think it's a wonderful program, and with that disclaimer, I'll just let you know I will be voting in favor of it. We've done it for many, many years, and I think
They
we've had
actually,
quite a
Dr.
bit of
Bible did
success.
there's an article that I saw online the other day that was talking about, if you all saw it, that the number of children who are being impacted academically because of intense tooth decay. And so it made me just very thankful for this program and that we can provide this service within the school through these partnerships. So I do think it's an important component of what we offer.
All right. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Health Department Dental Program and Lions Club Vision Program.
Motion to approve.
Motion, do we have a second? Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our 24-25 breakfast and lunch pricing schedule.
So you have a memo in front of you from Scott, who oversees our school nutrition program. We are requesting to do a 10-cent increase on both breakfast and lunch for students next year. This has nothing to do with the fact that we're changing vendors and that we're going with SFE this year. This is just, as you know, the paid equity, and Scott has to do that formula, and we have to show an effort that we are requiring paid students to pay what we're getting federal reimbursement, or that we're inching and closing that gap. And so this is going to help us achieve that. But, you know, SFE is on board to come. Airmark is going to see our summer programming through, and then beginning in July, SFE will come over and take over all of our cafeteria food. So we are requesting for this increase to be approved.
All right. Any questions or comments regarding our breakfast and lunch pricing for 24-25 school year? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? All right, hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on to our director's evaluation and contracts. I would like to thank Ms. Molly Scarborough once again for helping us out and agreeing to compile our data and responses from the board and put those together. Once again, Kelly, everything says you're doing a wonderful and a great job. Everybody on the board is extremely tickled with your work and how you represent our school system. Everything that was checked, you consistently or always exceed the expectations. You have no marks and seldom meets, usually meets, or never meets expectations. So everything is the highest that it can be, and really do appreciate the work that you're doing. I know I speak for everybody here in that we really do enjoy you being here and all that you do to keep us informed, both within the state, federal, and locally with what's going on all across the school scenario. You're a great advocate for the school system, and we appreciate you representing
Oh,
us.
well, you're gonna make me cry. Well, thank you very much. This is always an uncomfortable thing for me, just because this is my passion, and I don't feel like I go to work every day. I feel like I just go hang out with my best friends and get to love on kids all day long. So it's definitely where I want to be, wouldn't want to be anywhere else, but just the true magic is right here. I mean, you all do such a great job of supporting us, and you allow us to do our jobs. You shield us from politics. You support us in whatever we feel is in best interest of kids, and not every director has that set up, and I think that's what makes it so special. But learned a long time ago, you surround yourself with people smarter than you, and that is exactly what I have done with our leadership team. They help keep me on track, and I think one of our beautiful things is we have the relationship where we can look at each other and say, that's a really dumb idea, you really need to think about that. And so we hold each other accountable, and it's just a special group. And you look at our staff, and we have an amazing staff. So, I mean, Clinton City Schools is a very special place, proud to be part of it, but thank you all mostly for your support.
All right. Any further questions or comments? All right, I'm going to break this down into two sections here. The first one is to approve our director's evaluation as presented. I'll entertain that motion.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Moving on is Kelly's contract. So state law says that we can only have Kelly under a 4-year contract at a time. Love to tie her down longer than that, but state law says it is a 4-year maximum. So as we come to the end of this school year, we of course will be subtracting off her most current year. She will then be on a 3-year contract, and as the board has said in our evaluations, I think you're doing an absolute wonderful job, and I myself would love to keep you here for another year. And I would love to entertain a motion to extend Kelly's contract from where it has decreased down to a 3-year contract. Let's re-up that to a 4-year contract.
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? You're stuck with us for another 4 years.
There's going to come a point in time that you're not going to want to do that, and you have to tell me. When the time is up, you have to promise to tell me.
All right. That
Thank you very much. Greatly appreciated.
Doing a wonderful job, Kelly. That concludes our new business. We'll move on to our reports and information. We will not have a school board meeting in July. However, we do have the summer law that will be coming up in Gatlinburg. Kim, have you heard from everybody on that? Okay, good. The other thing that we have on here, we have a fall district meeting that will be in Loudoun County this year, September the 24th. I guess Kim will probably send us out a text to see who's going to be able to attend that meeting. And with that, we'll move on into our director's report.
Okay, you have a copy of a couple of updates. But before we start that, we do have a visitor that I would like to recognize. We have Sarah Bean with us today. So Sarah, stand on up. But Sarah, and if you want to come to the podium for a second, I'll let you kind of talk about what you do. But she works with ASAP, and she actually is a Clinton Elementary alumni. Jamie Jordan was there, and Jamie Jordan would like to lay claims that she was her Awanas leader and would like to make claims on the fact that she's a spiritual person because of Jamie. So, but anyway, Sarah, we welcome, and she just came today to introduce herself and just to kind of see what Clinton City Schools is about. So tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Yeah, so hi, everybody. I'm Sarah Bean, Sarah Coley Bean, Coley, my maiden name. But anyways, I work over at ASAP. I'm our prevention coordinator, one of our prevention coordinators. I teach our students about vaping. I go into our middle school and high schools and discuss programming with them, but the biggest thing that I do is our vaping referral course in partnership with Anderson County Schools and Oak Ridge Schools in juvenile court. If a kiddo gets caught at school with a vape, them and their parents have to come sit with me, lovely, on a Saturday morning from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. We talk about vaping. We talk about why it's bad for them. We also talk about marketing tactics and better ways to mitigate stress for them. That's my biggest job, just to help support students and know that they don't always have to turn towards those other vices, especially while their brains are still developing. But like Kelly said, I'm from Clinton Elementary, graduated, who knows when, graduated from Clinton High School in 2017. I have my master's in public health from UT. I just got married about a year and a half ago, and me and my husband have 4 lovely dogs who definitely don't drive us crazy. So thank you all for letting me come crash your meeting, and it's very nice to meet all of you.
Anytime. You come anytime. Nice to meet you. We're
Thank
glad
you for doing
came.
what you do.
And Jamie has already been in conversation with her about some supports that she can do with Clinton City Schools. So hopefully we can utilize her in some capacity with our children as well. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
So summer camp, learning camps, it feels like we just started it and now we're already winding down. So next Friday will be our last day. Once again, it's been a huge success. We've averaged about 125 students. 170 were enrolled, and then just due to vacations and other things, the attendance fluctuates. But one of the, I think the biggest, I guess, bang for our buck that we get is with the Kindergarten Boost Camp. And we were really, Clinton City Schools was the first to jump on board with this, and we did it just through our GP and ESSER funds one year. And then the next year, the state saw that the districts that had done this, it was such a return on investment that they started actually funding that within the state summer learning camp program. So we have about 27 rising kindergarten students that attend, and just that 4 weeks to teach them readiness skills, how to walk in a line, how to tie their shoes, how, to go to the bathroom independently, how to sit in a circle, how to, participate in a group. All of our kindergarten teachers have unanimously said that they can tell the students who have participated in this program, and it makes their beginning, they can jumpstart a lot easier. And Merle, who has taught kindergarten before, knows exactly what those beginning days of kindergarten are like. So that's just been a neat program, and all of the grades are wonderful. And STREAM is always the favorite of their class. We posted a few pictures about some things they've done in STREAM, but it's been a good 4 weeks. So far, of course, this is when we do a lot of our maintenance and capital projects. So Scott, if I get any of this wrong, this is your chance that you can correct me. But so far this summer, 6 classrooms at South Clinton Elementary School have received the new LVT flooring.
What was it called?
LVT,
Okay.
luxury vinyl tile. Am I correct?
LVT. It's
LVT. You were just waiting to correct me. You were
told
wanting to
me.
jump on that, weren't you? The goal is that we will just add some classrooms each summer just because we don't have to wax that and the maintenance is so low on that. So we're really liking that. CUB completed sewer upgrades at North Clinton Elementary School that was much needed, so they waited till school was out and they have finished that project. I sent you a picture of the auditorium today, but the auditorium ceiling project is wrapping up. And some of you all hadn't arrived when I said that Sean sent me that picture, and I literally had to respond back and said, "Where is this?" Because it did not resemble the auditorium at all. And then I got to looking, and I was trying to get my bearings straight, and then realized that, oh, that's the auditorium. So it looks very different without a ceiling in it. But they should be finishing up that hopefully soon. And of course, all the chairs are out, and so once the ceiling project is done, we'll move forward with the painting and all the other renovations that are going to take place. The city is continuing to work on the extension of the back parking lot at Clinton Elementary. Once it is done, we will begin the RFP on the CES playground. We've been working with Miracle to kind of determine appropriate things because we're building that the playground on asphalt. Of course, we're going to have to put down the turf. But we know for a fact from doing the expansion in Clinton Elementary that right under that asphalt is solid rock. And that actually created some challenges when we did the extension at Clinton Elementary, but they had to rework some things just because it was so incredibly expensive to try to bust up that rock. And so Sean and Scott have been working with the architects, and there still remains a little bit of a slope issue on some of the equipment that we want to purchase. Not that it can't be done, but Scott and Sean are having to do some further investigations and get creative on how we can use this space. So they're working on that while we're working on finishing up the parking lot. And then wanted to let you know that the city of Clinton actually purchased, if you remember, the Chamber of Commerce was going to build their new Chamber of Commerce at the corner of North Hicks and Main Street. And then they moved it to Charles Severs, and so this left a plot of land open. So the city of Clinton actually purchased that from the chamber. And if you drive by, you see construction happening on that. That's happening very quickly for a reason. Really, the city bought it for future planning, that down the road, they're out of room, we are out of room, with the thoughts that, down the road future, there could be an opportunity where we could build a new city complex that could hold city offices and possibly the Clinton City Schools central office. That would not be anything that's going to happen in the next year or two. We're talking probably down the road after I'm sitting on my back porch crocheting, but just thinking about the future. So they are, in the meantime, they don't want it to sit there, so they're going to use it and turn it into a parking lot for the downtown area. And so we were talking, and Roger wants us to be able to use that parking lot to help queue up cars. I don't know if you've ever seen Clinton Elementary dismissal, but it backs up greatly on Main Street, which really is, it presents a problem for the people trying to pass, for the people trying to turn, and that's probably our number one complaint that we get and the city police get, is that backing up on North Main, or on Main Street. So what we would do is we would, instead of them sitting on Main, we would queue them up and kind of wrap them in that parking lot, and Roger and the police would kind of help us with a traffic flow plan for us to communicate. I told Roger that it's always easier to train parents at the beginning of the year. If there's any way possibly that we could, wave our magic fingers and get that parking lot paved before school starts, that would be amazing. But if not, then we will implement that as soon as that parking lot is built. So as we are, positioning all the equipment to asphalt that parking lot, they're also going to asphalt the parking lot back behind the school. So both of those pavings will happen at the same time, so we don't have to pay for the setup twice. So we're excited about that. I think that will be good for us. It will also give us some more parking space for children who want to walk, and St. Mark would prefer to not take on that liability, which we completely understand. So that would give some parking for parents as well. The Beats property is set to close at the end of this month. There was a slight delay in the closing, but everything is good, and we are set on closing it at the end of this month. And the city of Clinton has really, since we can't purchase property, they've had to do that on our behalf. And so Chris and Scott Burton have really worked hard to pull that off for us, so we certainly thank them for that. And then comes our sad time. Of course, I am sad, and you see Suzanne is just smiling from ear to ear. But in a few short days, I think we are down to single digits now. Suzanne, her last day with us will be next Friday, but she is retiring from the public education world officially. And she is going to be starting her new retirement job, and she is going to be a college professor at Tennessee Wesleyan. And so she is going to go and actually train some fabulous educators, and then she's going to send them straight to Clinton City Schools. And so she is going to become our new pipeline for educating great teachers to send our way. But Suzanne has been with us. She came a year after I did. We stole her from Knox County. And so she's been with us for 11 years, and just a true passion for special needs kids and for seeing them being able to interact with typically developing peers. And I think her SPED teachers would lay down their life for her. They just absolutely adore her, but she's created a very close-knit special ed group and has really built a lot of good things over her time with us. And she's also served as human resources, so she's going to take with her a couple of great stories. And we actually are going to do a little reshuffle with her leaving, and so Lori Collins is going to take over the human resources part, and then Karen Couples is going to come in as our director or supervisor of special ed and student supports. So we've kind of reorganized central office to where Lori will take care of all things teachers, adults, curriculum, and then Karen's going to take care of everything kid and kid supports, and Jamie's just going to do it all. She's going to do it all. So anyway, we wish Suzanne the best, and I know that you'll want a chance to thank her for all that she has done. But she's just a dear friend, and we've all said in central office that since we've done this is my 8th year as director, we haven't done it with anybody else but the 4 of us. And so the 4 of us have been together, and I said it's just going to, when you are together doing this important work, I mean, you have to have a circle of trust, and so we just are gonna miss that camaraderie that we have had, but we know she's gonna go off and do great things. So you weren't included in the 4, I'm sorry. Okay, the 5 of us have been together for 8 years.
Feelings aren't hurt at all.
Oh. So anyway, the 5 of us, excuse me. So Suzanne, Best and I did that without crying, and I'm super proud. So a couple of dates just looking, because summer is flying by. Principals are going to already return on July 15th. Teachers are going to return on July 29th, and that sounds so early. Sneak peek for parents is going to be Thursday, August the 1st from 3:30 to 5:30. And then our first day with babies will be back on August the 2nd. So time is flying by fast. So any questions for me? We do love you, Scott.
Okay.
You're just usually back in your office doing your numbers.
Anything else? All right, hearing none, I'll declare this meeting adjourned.